Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm TheSaffronMan, this is Sporadiclese, and we are Red versus Red. We're going to be doing our for or against real quick. So the first question that I have set up for or against for Sporadiclese, which you are going to be against for us today. So you are against the first one. We have the worst attack in the top half of the table. Keep in mind that we are currently 12th in the Premier League. We have a 0 goal difference at the moment. And you are against this, which you so subtly chose a couple of minutes ago. I am delighted. Please, for a couple of minutes, tell me why you you're against this.
So we've been stagnant under Eric Ten Hag, and this is going to change drastically under Ruben Amorim. I think that this is going to be a very offensive-minded attack, and I think that we have the players in the lineup or in our squad to succeed using this formation. And so you can't really compare what we have seen up to this point in the Premier League
Yes, we
to
can.
what we're going to see. No, absolutely you cannot. No way. This is going to be so different. And we saw it today in the very first 90 seconds of the match. We scored in I think 81 seconds, and that's just quick little link up play. Dispossessing the ball from Ipswich, and Amad Diallo having the confidence to run into the offensive third and get the ball across, and that is the fastest goal that we have scored all season. And so you're already going to start seeing things like this, where we're changing up how we're doing things, we're changing who's doing it, and it is going to be a very different offense now than what we have seen. And so I'm looking forward to seeing us get a positive goal difference, and with that, I think we're going to see our spot in the table move up. It's going to take a little bit to kind of create that, but absolutely we are going to get there.
So I love how Sporadiclese just kind of twists and turns the wording of. So obviously, I'm going to be for and agreeing to this statement. And how could you not agree with this statement? We have the worst attack in the top half of the table. We're not even in. So the only other club in the top half of the table at the moment with 0 goal difference is Aston Villa in 8th and Fulham in 10th. Right? We have the worst attack in the top half of the table, and we're not even in the top half of the table. We can't get there because our attack is so bad. Summer signings as Joshua Zirkzee has not come up crops. Højlund has not scored the goals that we had expected to, service or not. Rashford has been A-OK, but not been exemplary. Diallo's had 1 or 2 options, but no one's really filling in with 5 to 10 goals. Chris Wood for Nottingham Forest has got like 8 Premier League goals or something this season, and they are in 7th. No one has got anywhere close to that. Like, we're not striking goals, we're not striking fear in the hearts of the defenders, we're not making them work hard. Like, we're just easy to play against, or we're fun. Scoring goals is the hardest thing to do in a game. I get it, I understand, but we have a lot of quality in the attack, and so far have not found that. Now, yes, we scored in 81 seconds or something today against Ipswich, but then we went 89 minutes without getting another shot on goal, pretty much. So it's not like our attack has been great. The stats don't lie, and it hasn't been great. We are not the best attacking. Whether that's going to be the same come end of the season with a new manager, a new formation, who knows? But currently, as things stand, unfortunately, we are not firing on any cylinders. We have the worst attack in the top half of the Premier League. Let me just read the clubs one more time above us. Fulham, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Tottenham, who literally just beat City 4-0. Brighton are beating everyone. Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, and are you saying our attacks are better than any of those teams I just mentioned?
I'm saying that our attack is going to be better. I mean, again, you're talking about a relic Eric Ten Hag
And
system.
I'm talking about
That,
Manchester United this season so far.
well, I mean, if you're talking about so far, I'm not inclined to look back at the past and see all of these terrible things that have happened. We have more draws than we have anything else in all of our
4 wins, 4
matches
draws, and
thus
4
far.
losses.
Okay, so again,
So you're right.
doesn't really look. It's what it feels like, right?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that that we're drawing or we're losing, and this is going to change. Absolutely, it's going to change, and I think that this system is going to be set up such that we have more versatility in terms of where people can be deployed, where more versatility in how we are going to attack and press, and this formation itself can be used in different ways depending on who you're playing against and how you need it to happen. And so again, I think that with the way that Ruben Amorim was getting animated today, whenever we're just knocking the ball around in the back, didn't like it. He wants it to go forward, and that's where we're best. And that's what's going to happen, is that we're going to transition from what has in the past, which I don't really care about at this point, been a bad offensive unit, and it's going to transition to the high-powered offense that it was meant to be.
In other news, yeah, maybe. I can't remember. Was it? Oh my god! Something literally. That's the one. I was thinking of Pokemon like Caterpie. That's not a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. Was what I was trying to say, but Pokemon popped in my head, ruined it. Like, are we going to turn into a butterfly? Maybe, but we're still a bloody caterpillar at the moment, and we're not scoring goals. So I don't know how you can defend that one. I think you're just unlucky with that Sporadiclese.
We're a metapod at this point. We're in our shell. We're just in our shell, waiting to break out. Like, all right, sit back.
Perfect. Okay, so we're definitely four on that one. That's just really hard to defend. We're not even in the top half of the table, so the fact that Chris Wood has got 8 goals, it just kind of sums it up for us. All right, on to the next one for you, Sporadiclese. The next one we have. Let us know what you guys think down below as well. By the way, do we have the worst attack in the Premier League, or in the top half at least? You let us know. Will we still buy a left back in January? So you're going against on this one. So you're going to explain over the next couple of minutes why we're not going to buy a left back in January. Seems pretty fair on this one.
Sure. I mean, we have any number of options. We also have a formation that doesn't really require us to have a true left back. Ruben Amorim again likes to play one attacking option on the wing backs and one defensive option, and so we do have players in place that can play in that position. If we wanted to have a true winger playing on the left, then we could have Garnacho playing left wing back. He doesn't have to track back as much, but he's still going to be potent on offense. He's there just to delay until we get the Martinez at the furthest left center back to potentially engage. And so we also have Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malacia coming back. Maybe we see them getting a few more minutes here. We also, again, if we want to play more defensive, then yeah, I mean, we can still throw Dallo over there. We can still throw any number of players over there. And so in terms of priorities, I don't know that that's necessarily going to be a priority. I think that, with what we have on record, we still have plenty of players that can play in that role in this new system.
Yeah, I agree. When you look at the game today, Ipswich.
There you go. You agree?
I am. I am. I'm going to go through all the things that I agree with, and then still explain why you're wrong at the end. So let me cook, and then I'll land it. Right. So yeah, I agree. Malacia is on the bench now. Shaw is on the bench. Had half an hour, and it's strange. Before Amorim turned up, we were like, God, we don't have any left backs. No one's played for a couple of years. What are we going to do? That's a lot of money in January to try and spend on the left back. And he's changed the formation. And all of a sudden, we don't need a left back because we've got left centre backs and we've got midfielders that can play left wing back. So, just a switch to that formation is all of a sudden, freed up the need. We don't need now. We need left-sided defenders, right? Because we've got left-sided attackers, left-sided defenders, not so much. So yeah, Malacia could go left wing back and Shaw can go left centre back, or I don't think they'll go vice versa. But Luke Shaw can definitely play the left wing back role. As you mentioned, Garnacho will still come on the left-sided role of midfield if needed. So you're right, we're kind of covered. But then all of a sudden, we're still talking about Alphonso Davies, and even though he's not a left back specifically, left defender is kind of what I was trying to get at in the topic of conversation. We're after someone to replace Luke Shaw ultimately, and I'm sure Harry Amas they're expecting to overtake Tyrell Malacia, because just for the year or two out that he's had from progression. If Harry Amass was to play for 2 years now, you would think he would overtake and surpass Tyrell Malacia. So, even though, yes, we've got space, we have cover for those positions, I think both of those positions aren't finalised or formal. They're both up grabs. They could be sold if a good price comes in. I think we're still looking to bring in Alphonso Davies as well. So, there we go. Like all the things I've just mentioned, yes, it fits. We don't need one, but I think we're still going to replace of what we have if we can. Alphonso Davies has been pretty much fit throughout all his career. He's had a couple of injuries, a couple of niggles, and there's no smoke without fire, and I think there's a little bit of smoke to this one. I think Alphonso Davies, if he was to come, it would be in January because of the contract thing, which Real Madrid wants. So if we were to get him, it would be in January. But we will see. Fingers crossed. I still think we're going to bring someone in. But it's a tough call.
I mean, sure, if we're talking about things that would be nice, I would love to see, us get a left back. I mentioned Alphonso Davies during the summer. I thought that we were going to go for him. I thought that we should have gone for him.
I've been mentioning Alphonso Davies since Football Manager 2018 or something stupid like that. I get it. He's great, but he's just been around forever. And we all want him.
I mean, I also like Bayern Munich, and I follow Bayern Munich, so I know all about Alphonso Davies. You don't have to sell me on Alphonso Davies.
And
what you do have to sell me on is that we're going to make a move in January for him. I think we have more pressing issues. I think that it's going to be difficult to really bring in somebody like that in that time frame. You're going to have to pay a premium for him because, again...
That's the situation. That's where we're at. So, again, if we wait till the end of the season, he will go to Real Madrid on a bigger contract that we're going to offer for free, right? But if we were to go for it, if it was going to happen at all, we have to go for him in January because that's when he's available. Because come the end of the season, he's going to Real Madrid. If we're going to go for him, we have to go for it in January because Real Madrid aren't. Right? So we have to offer the pretty penny now rather than 6 months from now. And if we can make that happen, then so be it. That'll be great. Everyone would be happy. And we don't really need it. But I would love to have Alphonso Davies like 24 or something. He's been around for 7 years and he's still got another 7 years to go or something. And so, modern professional, I would love to see it, man. We all need a Christmas present every now and then, and it would be a great late Christmas present for us if we managed to get Alphonso Davies. And we all said how excited we'd be of Luke Shaw at that left wing back role. If we can have Luke Shaw left centre back or cover for left wing back, and Alphonso Davies is our main left wing back, man, we all saw it. Look, Alphonso Davies, just run forward, fam. Luke Shaw is there. He's got you covered. You go. Express, mate, that's it. I'm sold.
Well, if we've got the worst attack in the top half of the table, as per the last one, then I think that we're looking at a striker more than a left back, and I don't know that Amorim's going to love his options in Marcus Rashford, Joshua Zirkzee, and Højlund. So, in my opinion,
we've had half an hour of a good left wing back, and that's the first time he's probably played left wing back in 2 years of football, like Luke Shaw. I don't give him some time. We could have some attack. The attack change, like you said, we could go in. We could evolve into a butterfly in this formation, but no one's really had a chance yet. We've had one game against Ipswich, and Luke Shaw said half an hour. But who knows? Maybe this whole formation, something will just switch and we become an attacking force. I
not sure we got the cash for it though. I mean, a January move is bound to be expensive, and I just don't know. Given everything that we put out, everything that we've shelled out, and we might not even get through into the playoff of the Europa League. Money's going to be tight, and so a January move that's probably too soon.
I agree that money is tight, but remember like last summer where they said we've got 50 million to spend, and then we ended up spending like 250 million or something like that, like with sales.
Don't we always only have 50
I know, but that's kind of my point. But Amorim has kind of come in and he's been promised a small amount for January, not including any sales, which is going to get to my third question in a minute, which is going to be segued perfectly. But we will see. We'll see what happens. But I think we are going to get. But for you, because of the formation change, and I have put left back, We don't really need a left back right now. I'll give it to you on a technicality, Sporadiclese. So that's what you can. But the next one is going to be tough. So we'll talk about Amorim coming in. We'll talk about the funds that might be available, might not be available, that some of the changes of players that we're needing to come in. So the next question is going to be, I've got it in red already, my bad. So,
oh, sweet, thanks. You can leave it there.
6 players leave in January.
Not on your life. Absolutely not. Well, I guess I should clarify. Are we talking about on loan? Are we talking about selling? Are we talking about the whole kit and caboodle?
Whole kit and caboodle, because that's what I've got to play with. So we're talking about youngsters as well. We're talking about the under 18s, 21s. No one said it was fair. No one said that it wasn't rigged from the start. So yeah, go for it.
Sure. Ruben Amorim likes to play the youth, and so unless you're going to offload Casemiro and Christian Eriksen and all these other players that we've already been shown that we basically can't offload because Saudi has not come for Casemiro. Eriksen seems like he is not willing to leave. Those are really the two that I would be looking for, and the fact that Amorim's going to be playing the likes of Amad Diallo on a more regular basis. I'm guessing that Amos is going to finally get the minutes that we've been looking for. Sales would be great. I would love to see some sales. I've got a couple players in mind, but 6 players, that's a pretty tall task, especially given that we're going to have 3 center backs. Center back is one of the few positions that I could have previously seen some sales in if we were going to maybe potentially bring in some of the youth players from the academy teams. But with a need for that many center backs and the fact that sure, Luke Shaw can kind of flex into that left center back role, you're still talking about having to rotate between 6 players, right? We have I think 6 center backs right now, right? Lisandro Martinez, Johnny Evans, De Ligt, Maguire, Euro, and Lindelof. He played Mazraoui as kind of a pseudo center back. I don't think that necessarily fits his style. I get why he did it, right? It's almost like you're just taking your back 4 and you've shifted it and popped your left back up a little bit and pulled your winger back a little bit to assist. So, I can see where he's coming from with that, but the players that need to leave are not players that we're going to be able to sell or offload that easily. So 6 players, it's just not going to happen.
Come on, it's definitely possible. We talk about Maguire, we talk about Lindelof, there are options that could go. We talk about, if Malacia had a few games in from now to January, maybe someone will offer a price for him. Xerxes gone already. We're talking about people wanting a trade for Osimhen, and some of the people, Italy want Xerxes back. So Xerxes could potentially be gone. They're concrete kind of offers that are coming on. That's not been going away at all on that Xerxes. If Collier could leave on a loan deal or some kind of part exchange or something, we have players that are worth a little bit or something Amorim needs to generate his own funds to get a couple of players in, and he has players available to him. If they're not going to fit in his system, like a Xerxes or an Anthony or whatever. So let's just say Taro Malacia, let's say one of Maguire or Lindelof, let's say Xerxes, let's say Anthony. That's 4 people right there, not including any of the youngsters. And so I definitely think it's possible that 6 players leave. Only one of it's like you trim the fat and then you just fill in 1 or 2. And we talked about trim the fat already, and yes, we got rid of a few trim the fat players. If we were to get rid of a couple more, come the summer, he's going to go, right, I've got a score of 25, I've trimmed the fat a little bit, you're still not going to work, but I'm going to bring in this one person. I just think it makes sense. He's basically going to have his last summer's transfer window at January. I think he's got to make up a little bit of lost ground. I think he will sell people in January, maybe bring 1 or 2 signings. I think maybe just 1 signing in January, but he's prepping for the summer, and he'll sell a couple more in the summer, and he'll bring in more in the summer. So It makes sense to me, for whatever reason, that players are going to be leaving. I think it's an audition from now till January, who's going to stay and who's going to go. In my mind, Anthony's gone. In my mind, Xerxes gone already. In my mind, Lindelof or Maguire has gone. And in my mind, Malacia or Shaw are going to have options available to them, and plus a couple of the youngsters like Collier. If he's not going to get enough minutes, then so be it. It's definitely more than possible. I think more sales than buys have to happen this January. So it's kind of hard to see any other end result, you know.
I mean, we brought in Malacia 2 years ago for 10 or 12. He hasn't even played that. He's played maybe a couple months for us, and so to say that he's going to turn around and we're going to sell him, like that's a weird move to me to sell him so quickly. We're probably not going to get money back on that.
No, come on. No, wait. Let's stick to Malacia before you go on to Xerxes. Malacia's been injured for 2 years, pretty much. He wasn't with us for 2 years previous. He's a player. It's just a player that's not doing anything. And yes, he might be fit, but would you rather have a fit person that's come back from injury for 2 years, or someone like Alphonso Davies or something? That you need to upgrade your weak links, and right now Malacia is a weak link. One, because he hasn't played for 2 years, and two, we never knew if he was good enough anyway.
We don't even know if he was good enough.
So but that's what I mean. But now you've got 2 years of injury.
So like, why are we selling somebody that we're not going to be able to recoup the money on?
No. Look, we got him for like 10 million. I think you're slightly missing. We got him for like 10 or 12 million or whatever it was anyway. We got him. We didn't know if he was any good enough. He's been injured for 2 years. Who gets injured for 2 years and comes back to full fitness in that time? We're probably not going to see the best of Tyrone Malacia for another 6 to 12 months anyway. So on that contract, are we just paying for people to be injured? It's like Phil Jones all over again. It's a weak link. If he's not playing, replace him. Or at least it's an option. Amarim's just come in. He's looking to generate funds to bring people in. Oh, what's this? You've been injured for 2 years and you're not really playing. Well, I might get 5 million for you and get you off my wages. That might contribute to another person coming in. I'm just saying he's available. It's not a mainstay. It's not like a Garnacho, what you would say.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It would be great for that to happen. I just don't see it happening. I don't, again, it's like Donny van de Beek. We sold him for $500,000 because he just, because
he was injured for 6 months and then 6 months
injured, whatever. And so, again, I think the time to do all of that is going to be the summer. And again, with Xerxes, I don't think you sell Xerxes. You don't buy him and then sell him 6 months later. When was the last time we bought somebody and sold them 6 months later?
Well, that's not the point, but Erik ten Hag bought him, right? And he turned...
That's not the point.
No. You're right. You just contradict yourself. So, Erik ten Hag bought him. He turned up over a stone overweight. We've seen that he's not very fast and can't run. We have 10s already in Mason Mount, Garnacho, and Bruno Fernandes. We bought a player that we now no longer need, and he's a square peg. So again, we've just bought him for like 45 or whatever it was. Italy have literally been after him 6 weeks after he's been with us. It hasn't been it's like Angel Di Maria. It hasn't been a smooth sailing for him. He's slow. He's not striking. He's not scoring. He's unhappy. There have been rumblings about him leaving, and there are still rumblings about him leaving and us trading him for Osimhen. Now, I don't know if the Osimhen thing is true or not, but that's what the articles have been saying. And I'll tell you what, if we paid 15 million and Xerxes for Osimhen, I would snap your hand off. I think that's a bargain. Now, again, whether he stays or goes is irrelevant. The fact that he's actually worth something and we can make a deal. Mate, you see Moneyball with Kevin Costner or whatever it was. Like, if someone's got a value, like, you can make something happen with that. And again, I don't think you're going to do that with Rashford or Garnacho, but for someone that's turned up for 6 months and ultimately hasn't been looking great, you try and get your money back or just try and make something positive out of it. He's not a loyal player to Manchester United yet. Why should we be loyal to him? You have to earn that. I don't think it's worked out. If we can get an Osimhen or something positive out of that, I'm all for it. I'm just saying he's worth something, and he's not a mainstay.
Nobody has worked out in the last 3 months. Nobody.
No, but you can't sell everyone.
Our whole team hasn't looked good. And so I can't sit here and look at you with a straight face and say, oh well, it's Xerxes. Xerxes is just not good enough. Okay, well neither is Rashford.
No.
Like
no.
all these players
Xerxes hasn't been good enough. You can't say he has been. Has he?
Højlund hasn't been good enough. There are so many players that haven't been good enough.
No. But I would say that Højlund's got more potential than Xerxes right now after watching what Xerxes done. Xerxes hasn't. He's scored one tip-tap. We know that Højlund works hard. We know that Højlund is fast. We know that Højlund has got a good striking rate. He just doesn't get the service.
We also know that he hasn't scored very many. What, he scored 1-2 goals this season, if that.
That's so again, one more than Xerxes. So he scored double Xerxes.
Wow. That's really great striking output.
Hey, it's just quick math, man. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that we bought him. It hasn't been an ideal situation for him.
Size. Law of large numbers is not yet in effect.
Yeah,
so that's an irrelevant statistic.
So, I think he's worth something. I don't think he's bought a house yet either. So, I don't know. Maybe he wants to go. Maybe he doesn't.
He's terrible, but he's worth something. Make up your mind,
No. He's worth something because we've just bought him for 45. If we wait another 6 to 12 months, he's going to be like Anthony and worth next to nothing. We'll be lucky to give him away. But since we've just bought him for 45, for 6 months ago, January coming up, that price tag hasn't dropped too low. So we could get 35 to 40 for him because he's still 24, international striker. I'm just saying, Amorim is looking to generate funds to bring in a player or two of his own. Gyökeres has been mentioned quite a lot. That young 17-year-old wing-back, Quanda, I forget his name. But if he wants those players to come in, he has to make that money because Manchester United aren't going to give him get that in January. I mean, if he has to get money from somewhere, it's not going to be Anthony. It's not going to be Malacia. You might get a little bit for Lindelof. You might get a little bit for Maguire. Xerxes, you'll get a fair bit because we've just paid a fair bit, so you'll get some of that back. Is an option. There are other options within the squad. It all depends on Amorim. But yeah, I think there's going to be a few sales in January. And you're going to have to prove me wrong on that one. We'll see. I tell you, come end of January, if we haven't sold or 6 players haven't left, we'll come back here on the podcast and I'll do some kind of truth or dare or something as a sacrifice for that. But all right, Sporadiclese, I'm going to give myself that one there just until we get, what is it, Greed? There we go. Boom. It's great having the chat with you, man. We've had a busy week. We've had a good week. It's been fun. All things Manchester United. And what are you up to for the next week? And we'll see you back on Friday, or like what are you up to?
Yeah. I mean, it's holiday times here in the United States. So I've got my last week of paternity leave this week as well, and then the following week I'll be going back to work. So I should be able to make a video on Friday. I shouldn't have any issues there. So I mean, it's just going to be really just spending time with family. Hopefully, trying to get a little bit of sleep because I think we finally figured out one of our girls has been having some issues with staying asleep and being cranky. So
been there.
Fingers crossed that I can just get a little bit more sleep, man.
Oh mate, sleep is for the wicked. So yeah, all the holiday stuff has come up and family and work and blah blah blah. I get it. Path of XL2 comes out December 6th, baby, and I'm all for it. I'm going to be... That's my Christmas right there. So I'm good. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I've been TheSaffronMan. He's been Sporadiclese. We've been RedVsRed. Make sure you show your support in the comments. Hit a like and hit the little notification bell so you're notified when we go live. And subscribe and follow as well. Show your support. Let's get to 100 as soon as possible. That'd be great. But thanks for coming on, Sporadiclese. It's been fun. And we'll see you guys during the week. Till then. Peace.